How many labels have boxed you into a generic category?
Perhaps it's a category you didn't feel fit the real you. No, I don't know if it's because of my situation or not, but I always end up getting advice from people, and it's usually unsolicited advice, which is fine, but the advice that comes my way is typically from somebody that's very religious or a bit strange and out of the box. And I'm all for being unique, but this is a little different. Now, just to be very clear, I have nothing against religion. Believe whatever you want to believe, that's totally fine with me. But the people that come my direction are usually wanting to give me free medical advice or giving me their religious take. For example, I've been told I must be the child of the devil because God wouldn't put good people on crutches. And when something like that happens, and it just hurts your heart, and you realize that, once again, I'm in a world where I don't belong. I feel like I don't belong in the disabled world because I've never wanted to be segregated, and I've always tried to fit in.
Oh, I went looking for an apartment the other day, and I called to inquire, and the gentleman said, "I'm sorry, this is a building for people with disabilities." And I said, "No worries, I'm flat-chested." And then I actually said, I was born with spastic cerebral palsy, and I use crutches or a wheelchair on a daily basis to get around. And do you know what the property manager said to me? The property manager said to me, "Well, you don't sound disabled, so you can't move in." So I hung up the phone, and I called my mom, and I said, "Mom, I got great news. Speech therapy was a success."
But by societal standards, society looks at me and says, "Well, we don't think you belong here either because obviously you have some physical issues."
And I've been having trouble finding a real job, which is frustrating. So I got a paralegal degree, and I went to a legal office to try to apply for a job. And they refused to give me an application, refused. Yeah, the HR department took one look at me, and they decided to put the applications at the top of a spiral staircase. So not fair. Give a girl a break. So at the same law firm, I tried to apply to be a junior file clerk, and they told me that I was overqualified. Overqualified to be a junior file clerk. I later found out that they didn't think I knew the alphabet. I know the alphabet, but don't make me pick letters out of hot alphabet soup. That's really hard to do when you're flat-chested. But despite what you think of me, I really do know the alphabet. I'll prove it to you. A is for arrogant asshole. B is for bigot. And C is for constitutional rights.
But for me, being mainstreamed was a defining moment in my life.
Yeah, she's my baby. I want her to have a normal life. It's not only the right thing to do, it's the law. It's a federal law, PL 94-142. I'll take this case all the way to the Supreme Court if necessary.
Now, I had the press, and I had school board members, and the community, and everyone looking at me. Would she be able to cut it? Would she be able to survive? And I guess, even though I was a little kid, I realized that that was a defining moment for me, that I was going to have to choose how I wanted to live my life. Because I have always felt like society tells me that I must be tougher and stronger just to survive. But the older I got, the more I realized it's not just me because I have a disability and because I have extra challenges. It's because you have to make a choice as an individual how you're going to live your life, what your defining moments are going to be, and what will you choose.
Dawn Grabowski teaches anybody that knows her that adversity is a friend. She plays a bigger game in life. I find her to be gracious, considerate, fun. She's a perfect person to teach somebody how to be positive and how to be motivated, because that's what she does. She walks that talk. She comes to me as a health professional so that I can help her feel better. But every time I'm with her, I feel better. I'm lucky to know Dawn.
I've known Dawn Grabowski for about 20 years, and that girl has always inspired me. And not because of any so-called disability, because that girl is the most able-bodied person I know. I think Dawn realized life was going to be a little bit harder for her. And she developed the qualities and the abilities of work ethic and taking a risk and an ability to put herself out there. And think about it. What could you accomplish with the development of those skill sets? See, that's what always inspired me about her. I saw the weaker parts of myself and the better parts of her. That's inspiration.
So I'm asking you, what will you choose? How will you live your life?
Use your voice, your passion.
Your skill.